can't tell if you look more like Logic or like Steve from Blue's Clues, like currently.
Well, for all our followers, I went on a binge on our Discord chat, and apparently everyone's saying that I'm more like Split, James McAvoy character.
You're definitely split. You
That's
were
a,
split before you shaved your hair.
that's
Just
what this
your
podcast.
personality. Yeah, he didn't actually cut his hair, everybody. He was just editing, and this is the result of editing our podcast.
That's what happens when you don't like and share. This is the result, okay? The stress.
You look like Natalie Portman from V for Vendetta.
I feel like I'm going through the same struggle right now, being co-host of you. You're like V, and you just like set me up all this time. Oh my god.
Look, you can't start a revolution on an empty stomach.
The
You can't start a podcast on an empty stomach.
The lunch table is leaving me with an empty stomach. Trust me, even if it's like called the lunch table.
Fucking rib cage under that shirt. Just
Holy shit! It's crunch time. I can't wait until we do the Game Awards reactions too.
that Game Awards is crazy. I mean, I know we're trying to save our thoughts for the next episode, but that was a while. They gave us so much. I feel spoiled. I feel like Phantom from Zohan, like, you are going to get spoiled.
It's so exciting. I can't wait like for everyone to hear our reactions, and Hawkeye too. This episode's crazy. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I just love how like Kevin Feige like just gave up and was like, all right, fuck it. Yeah, Daredevil's actually like in the MCU.
That gives me so much hope because, well, first of all, that means, okay, now Daredevil should be canon, right? If Charlie Cox is, I want to see what other, like, characters from ABC, wherever.
It's a foot in the door, right? Because it's like, all right, Daredevil was the leading protagonist of the Defender series, so obviously, and he was the most popular, right? So you would obviously want to bring him back. So like I said, like it's a stepping point to bringing back the Defenders slowly. Like we might even get Punisher. I know John Berthel obviously wants to come back and reprise his role, and obviously like Wilson Fisk we might potentially see in Hawkeye. So there's a lot of potential obviously for the future. What do you think about it?
Well, I think also, why do you think Kevin like revealed that, right? Is it because maybe Wilson will show up in Hawkeye? It kind of like makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. I think the future is going to be great with Marvel.
I think like it's just like as we're approaching, No Way Home, I think he's trying to brave the storm of leaks that are gonna be coming out, and the internet loves to spoil shit. So I think he wanted to take control. It's like when they dropped the first trailer after the leaks came out. It's like they kind of want to keep it like with an official, So I think it's just like damage control.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
and they want to say it first. They just want to get
right.
the credit for it. Yeah, it's great marketing, I say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was even crazy. We got that interview with Willem and Alfred Molina. He looks so much like Doc Ock with his glasses. Obviously, he looks like you right now with your glasses. It's like if you had more hair, you could be Doc Ock.
I never thought someone would say if I had more hair. Wow, I feel weird now. But I would say I'm doing a lunch table for money, but we're not making dick off of it because you guys stick
Happy
around
to pay
for
the
2
bills,
minutes.
It's my money. I'm in charge.
Yeah, that's how our viewers are like watching us. They're like, "It's my money. I'm in charge. Let me fuck off. I'm not gonna donate."
This doesn't change anything.
Definitely doesn't.
I have nothing left but this podcast.
Then you're fucked.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with Dylan and Akram, your podcast for the latest news in entertainment and pop culture. We hope you guys have been keeping warm and cozy for the holidays as we approach the end of the year. Today we are giving you guys another review for our hero of the holidays, Marvel's Hawkeye, episode 4, titled Partners, Am I Right? I feel like this is calling us out.
Probably is.
But it was a fun episode. Not a lot to talk about, but there's important things to talk about, I should say. So let's just dive right into it. You called it, Akram. So we got spoilers ahead. We got Yelena from Black Widow. I didn't expect her to come in this early, but I did think we would eventually see her. So, your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, I was thinking like I don't think they'll show her right away because she'll steal the show, I guess. But this was a perfect time to introduce her, I think, because also we're like getting more into like what's Echo's deal about, right? Like really trying to find Ronan, and now I guess she's connecting two and two together with Clint, right? So seeing Yelena here, I mean, there's a TV spot for the next episode, and I think we see more of Yelena as well. So I don't know if she's gonna like join the crew. I think it'll be sweet though, because there's a lot of like Black Widow reference here, and I think it'll be sweet to like, for them to build a little bit of their own family. Like maybe Echo will kind of join in the crew later on. But yeah, I think this is a great spot to introduce her, and maybe we get to see more of her throughout the show. How many episodes do we have? I forgot. Was it 8, 10, or 6? I forgot though. Um,
Somewhere in that range. I can't even tell you at this point.
well, whatever
But
it
this
may
definitely
be.
feels like the halfway point, at least for the show, right?
I think so. Yeah, I still like. I wanted to get more into Uncle, but that was all about like last episode. So I think maybe this episode coming up, they maybe can use Elena, like her help. And I hope that there's some conflict resolved with Echo. I hope it's not like that last moment where it's like, oh, Echo changes her mind. I think that's kind of like tropey, and that's what a lot of like people were saying, and that was their worries about the show, that it may fall into like a tropey type of show.
Redemption arc or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
right. So I hope that I don't know. I hope that it gets more bombastic. This was a really fun episode because it was so I just love seeing Clint's and Kate's like just like enjoying each other's company. Like, Clint kind of like, he's like, I kind of want to get away from her, but here it's like it was really sweet, right?
Hmm.
And I thought that was really touching, especially
Very festive, right?
very
Just,
festive. Yeah.
it's a nice breath away from the action and the dialogue and the story. Gave us a little like holiday cheer, which I really enjoyed. Um, but yeah, going back to Maya, I definitely think she's going to develop mistrust for Clint now, especially seeing Yelena, because remember he did say Black Widow was the one that killed the Ronin. So seeing Yelena, like she might think that she's the Black Widow, and then she might think, oh, okay, well he's obviously lying, right? So I think there's gonna be a mistrust there. And then obviously throwing Yelena into the mix is gonna be a curveball for both Clint and Kate. So they're gonna have two antagonists to deal with. I just wonder how Valentine is involved in all of this, because she was the one that hired Yelena to take out Clint. So I wonder like who's the main like, or like what's everybody's agenda, right? Because we still have we didn't even talk about Tony Dalton as Jack Duquesne.
You don't mean Iko Uwais or
No,
Tony Jaa?
Tony Jaa. Lamasu. Yeah, so last episode, obviously he was holding Clint by sword point, but he's a little more relaxed in this episode. I'm surprised. There's a bit more of a chemistry going on between Jack and Kate's mom. I still think Kate's mom is a little sus, only because of the first episode. We still don't know what happened with the dad. There, because there was that weird scene where like they were like gone for a couple minutes, and then like the dad was nowhere to be seen again, but the mom showed up. So a little suspicious there. I definitely think she might be covering up for some of Jack's exit, like using her position in that security company. And we did get the reveal of Sloan Limited is Jack is the CEO and the head of the tracksuits, right? So he has some involvement in that regard. Still don't know too much about the uncle character, like you said, with Maya. But we have answers to be revealed in the coming episodes. Also, the mention of the Rolex was interesting in this episode. So Hawkeye talks to Laura about some of the things from the Avengers compound that were stolen, and one of the things that was mentioned is a Rolex. Some people are speculating it might be Tony Stark's. At first, I thought that same thought, but I'm thinking it might be Nick Fury's. Actually, what do you think about it?
No, that's a really interesting guess. And it makes more sense now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, because if it was Tony Stark's, well, first of all, like it's so like the MCU right now is like filled with like Tony Stark reference. So I don't know if they'll keep on doing that, but yeah, Nick Fury, because we haven't seen much of Nick Fury. We don't know much of Nick Fury, and since this is stolen from the Avengers compound, I think that makes sense. But what's so special about the watch, right? What do you think?
Well, it's just the way that he posed it because he said it belonged to someone who's been out of the game a long time, and he said what was it? It was like if it fell into the wrong hands, their cover could be blown. So I'm thinking it's Nick Fury. It might belong to him. Maybe he's still doing his like espionage stuff. Yeah, well, he's still with Sword, right? But he's still like trying to do like his undercover intelligence agency stuff. So I don't know. At first I thought it would have been Tony Stark's, like the watch he used in the Civil War, but I think that was a different design. Um, I don't know. There could be a number of characters it could belong to. Maybe some we haven't even seen yet, but it's interesting. So we'll just have to wait and see what the next episode reveals for it.
Yeah, that's really yeah, I don't know. And I have a feeling it's kind of it's kind of going to be a letdown. Maybe it's like Black Widow's watch or something, but he doesn't want I don't know, like something like that.
It's like Clint's anniversary gift or something,
Watch it be
like a
that.
regular ass Rolex watch.
It has the widow like insignia like in the
Oh my
back.
god, if they do like a close up like for a Christmas like advertisement, you just see like a Rolex brand. I'll turn off the whole TV.
I mean, it has to be that special. I thought it was like a variation of the time thing from Avengers Endgame. I don't know. It can be like of sentimental value, and that's it. Like it just is what it is. I don't know. It could be a whole slew of things. We don't know, and I hope we get like results soon enough because I don't know this is gonna be like a major plot device. Or unless the watch is like super OP, I'm not really sure.
It's the
Overall, like
Omnitrix.
I wanted to yeah, I know. I wanted to ask you so far since we have this episode, are you picking up on the themes of the shows so far? Like do you have any thoughts on like maybe like the themes that's going on?
I mean,
Um
it definitely relates to family. Um, I mean, not just going off the holiday theme, but I mean, obviously with Maya, you know, Clint, he's trying to protect his family, even his extended family now that is slowly becoming Kate. Um, Kate with her family, I mean, she's trying to do what's best for her mom. Um, and even Yelena, because, her sister, she's trying to avenge her long lost sister. So definitely ties to familial bonds. And I think just like dealing with grief and your past in a way. So like Clint is trying to like, uh make up for, what he's done and really like get rid of the suit and what it represents and make sure it doesn't fall into anybody else's hands to protect them, you know. But what do you think about it? Like what have you like or like what are your overall thoughts so far like from these first 4 episodes?
well yeah, I definitely think it's about that. I think it's about fitting in as well, and getting into the right tribe. I think it's just making a new tribe. I also think it could slightly be about redemption. I think Echo, especially, and Clint need the most redemption. I'm not really sure about Kate or even Yelena because I feel like in a way Yelena's like good because Valentina, I don't know what's her organization about, but I don't think it's something like insidious or just under the covers like something really bad. I think it's kind of like an anti-hero type of group.
Like like an Amanda Waller type thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's like something that's like really righteous and like all about justice. I think it's more like a black ops type of group, but still it's there's still good underneath that rough exterior. But yeah, I definitely think like exactly what you said. For sure it's about family and I think for sure it's about getting into the right tribe. And And also, I just wanted to point out that was so weird when the wife spoke in German. I don't know why I just thought about that. That was like, I don't know. She's like really into like Clint's whole spy thing. You know,
I
I
know.
like that. I dig
We
that.
all need a wife like Laura.
Right, right.
Just like
Protect her
just
at all
cool.
costs.
Right.
Right.
I really do hope he ends up like going back to his family though, because it just feels like he's lost another day
Yeah,
being
that
with
is
his
so true.
family.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's kind of sad to see. But I mean, he's probably gonna gain a new one. Not to say that like, oh, Kate and Yelena's gonna replace his kids, and like he moves away. I think that'll be
that you're
so
gonna
stupid.
say he's gonna divorce his wife and then end up with Kate for some reason.
Oh no, I think that'll be too raunchy for Disney Plus, if that's in lack of better words. But
They're really bringing back the Defenders R rating.
seriously, right? What do you think about like I mean a lot of the Kingpin is really he's really floating around there, you know, with Uncle, and we got the confirmation from Kevin earlier. Do you think that what's his name? John Dequa. I keep forgetting how to say his name. John Deku. Like, do you think that he has a close tie to Kingpin? I know we talked more about that in the last episode, but do you think we'll see any resolution coming through later on? Like maybe what's her name? Valentina has like some sort of like information on that, and that's why she sent Yelena in one because I don't think Valentina's gonna say like, yeah, kill Clint because he killed your sister. Why? Why would Valentina care? It might be something more,
Well,
right?
that's the real question, right? It's like why? What does Clint have? Why does he have a target on his back in Valentine's book, right? But going back to Wilson Fisk, I think he's if we're going off the MCU Wilson Fisk, if this isn't like a reiteration of that Kingpin, um, I would say like he has a big presence in the Marvel universe, right? Because he is the kingpin of crime, obviously. So he's got connections like everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if it reached so far as like maybe like Hydra or like I don't know some like or like 10 Rings or something like that. Maybe that's exaggerating a bit, but who knows, right? Who knows how far his hands reach in his pockets. Um, but I don't know. It could be interesting because Hawkeye is, I think, also a antagonist of the Kingpin. Because Kingpin really like he falls into a lot of comic lines like Spider-Man, Daredevil, just like just because his reach is so great, right? And he's like one of those like top tier Marvel villains. Like I would say like on like tier with like Norman Osborn or like Doctor Doom, right? Because he can really like traverse with a number of characters. So I don't know what they're planning to do with him. But like I said in the previous episode, he is prevalent in Maya's storyline. So it'd be stupid not to use him if you're gonna bring him back. And obviously we got Charlie back. So I'm wondering if maybe Charlie might come back into the future series. Who knows? There's a lot of potential for that. Um, I really just want Iron Fist to be redeemed.
I do too. I think I maybe he shows up in Shang-Chi if like everything goes well with Daredevil. God knows when Shang-Chi will come out, probably in 2024. Or unless they do the Spider-Man Homecoming thing where it's like, oh, we just announced this, we're gonna do this movie real fast. Unless they do something like that, but I doubt it. Yeah, Shang-Chi. So let me ask you, since we're like getting close to like ending this, what are your predictions for the next episode?
So I think next episode, Clint's definitely going to. Well, obviously he split up with Kate in the end of this episode, so I don't think Kate's gonna give up that easily. I think even if she doesn't stick with Clint, she's gonna go after the tracksuits herself. I think Clint is gonna be more focused on finding Yelena because I think right now he sees her as a bigger threat than Maya. Um, and then who knows? We might go more into like what Yelena's been up to since Black Widow. Um, because a lot of these shows have been like showing less like exposition, like what these characters have been like up to in their time. I hope we get more flashbacks actually of Clint, like in the Ronin costume, like doing because we kind of saw that in this episode. But it was more focused on like him and Natasha. So I don't know. It's leading up to a big, I guess, finale. We haven't seen yet the the scene where he's in the tuxedo yet, running through all that gunfire yet with the James Bond suit, or like him ziplining through the building. Um, but yeah, I think this episode was definitely more story driven and just like giving a breather until the next couple episodes. I'm sure are going to be more action packed. But what do you think we'll see in the next episodes coming up?
Uh, yeah, a lot of what you just said. I actually think that maybe somehow Kate kind of teams up, or like, I don't know, I don't know, like somehow she just meets Elena more, and like they build this relationship. I think that's kind of touching in a way, because in a way, Kate and Elena are proteges of Black Widow and Hawkeye, right? So in a way, it's kind of nice to see them getting along as well. It's more even of passing the torch, right? And they're passing the torch of friendship, as cheesy as they may sound. So I think we may see more of that, because the TV spot was kind of cutesy. I didn't like. I seen some screenshots. It looked kind of cutesy with Elena there. Um, so I think that we'll see more of that. I think Echo is kind of gonna be like a hard ass, like that hard ass, like it'll just remain until like maybe the very end. I have a feeling it'll go down that tropey type of thing. But yeah, I think for the most part, we're gonna see more of Yelena, because she didn't utter a word here, right? So I think Florence Pugh is involved, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna have significant lines for the next episode. And I don't know if she'll stick around. I don't know if that kind of dilutes the bond that Kate and Clint has, like that whole thing of like building that dynamic later on. I don't know if that kind of like obscures that. But I think it'll be really fun to see more of Florence Pugh's character. And they're short episodes too. So how much can you cram into a 40-minute episode for it to be enjoyful and impactful? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
I have a
Here's
question.
Yeah, okay.
Do you think at the end of the series, that Clint is gonna actually retire and then pass the mantle to Kate? Because Kate in the comics does take over as Hawkeye.
I think so. I really do think so, because they've he's been with his contract for so long, and Marvel's trying to do new things, and Haley's young, Florence is young, obviously Scarlett Johansson is not there anymore. I think that, yeah, at least I don't think he'll die, but I think that they're gonna like say like, oh yeah, he's with his family. He finally is retired, but Kate like has contact with him here and there. It's just a thought. It's a nice thought, like, oh yeah, in this universe, like Kate still talks to him or whatever, like that, or goes over for Thanksgiving or whatever, and maybe Elena's involved too. I think that that'll happen for sure. I think that he'll retire, and it's not that good for us, because I know a lot of people love Hawkeye, but it's kind of the best way to resolve this story arc with Hawkeye. It's just him going, returning
Mm.
back to his family in peace. Black Widow wished that she could have done that, right, and she couldn't have. So in a way, he's like living his life and redemption for her, right, and for his family, of course. So yeah, but what do you think?
They they just have like a Dark Knight Rises moment where like Kate goes to a cafe and then she she looks over and it's Hawkeye and he's just like
End credits is
right.
like Christopher.
I don't think Hawkeye would die. It's not beyond the possibility. Yeah, like I definitely think like Marvel would want him to have a more happier ending, I guess, than Black Widow. Because Black Widow, like, she kind of like did her thing, right? She was like the MVP, I guess, of the Avenger, right? Because her sacrifice was so that everybody else could, I mean, other than Tony and Steve, obviously, could live their lives, right? So yeah, I think Hawkeye is definitely, and like you kind of don't want to end like a Christmas series with your main protagonist like getting off. So I really doubt they would kill him off. Um, but who knows? Maybe he has to go into hiding, and then he just can't be seen as Hawkeye or Ronin. So he's gotta like I don't know project a new identity, and then just go into hiding with his family. So then maybe Kate has to take over as Hawkeye. Um, I don't know if she would maybe join the Avengers. Like, I don't even know if the Avengers are still a thing now because they're kind of like split up at the moment. We still have like Professor Hulk, uh, doing his thing with like She Hulk in that series too. We still have Moon Knight also. So I don't really know what's going on with like the official Avengers per se. Like I don't know if it's still a team. I mean, like Steve and I mean, not Steve, Sam and Bucky are still like kind of doing their thing, and then obviously we got Wanda. She's kind of like hiding right now. So I think it would take a great like Thanos level threat to bring everybody back. But I think for the most part, everybody's just like enjoying this peacetime, and they're just kind of like fighting their own battles at the moment. Um, but yeah, I think right now, I don't think it's gonna get too crazy, involving characters, because I think at the heart of this series is still Kate and Clint. So it's definitely gonna focus on them, and then him like passing on like the torch to Kate because he sees potential in her. Like the whole coin flip scene, like he sees she has what it takes. Maybe she's not right there yet, right? But she's still a diamond in the rough. With just like a little training, she could get there. So maybe he like opens his heart a bit more instead of having like this very invulnerable exterior. Maybe he wants to like open up more and because he kind of like still sees himself as like a killer. He even says it in the show, like he's a weapon, right? He was aimed at targets, but I think this show is gonna humanize him more, and then make him realize, okay, well, I don't have to be a weapon all my life, right? I can be just a regular guy. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on what we'll see next. But any closing thoughts?
Yeah, that's you brought up some good points. Yeah, I thought that was so badass when he said I'm a weapon, whatever. But yeah,
Right.
for sure I agree. Perhaps Marvel Studios is focusing more on the expansion of the MCU and just, diving into the multiverse rather than just the universe, right? So maybe we won't see an Avengers for like years, unless if it's like some sort of huge threat. But here's the thing, the Eternals, that was a fucking huge threat, right? So it's like I would expect that, damn, that would have been like an Avengers level thing. So like I feel like now after Thanos, like we mentioned in the Eternals review, like the power scaling, it's just like everyone's keeping like upping
It's a
each
little
other.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, I don't know if we'll ever see that. I think that they're really focusing more on their shows now, which in a way I kind of appreciate because we get to dive more deep into these characters. And I think that for a movie, it has to have like a significant storyline in order for it to be a movie. Whereas like for the shows, it's more of this, personal type of conflict that they have to undergo within themselves, and also fighting villains and cool shit like that. So yeah, time will tell. Hopefully we know what's the Rolex watch about, speaking of time. But yeah, this was a fun episode. I can't wait to next episode, and I can't wait for you guys to see our review for episode 5 of Hawkeye.
Yes, so definitely stay tuned. If you're not following us already, please give us a follow, share, a like, anything that helps support our channel. We still have a couple more episodes left in this series, so stay tuned. And then our next episode is going to be exciting. It's going to be our Game Awards reaction, so you won't want to miss that because there's a lot of content that just dropped, and we got some hot thoughts for y'all. So definitely check it out. And if you haven't already watched our first 3 review episodes for Hawkeye, they're already out on Spotify, Anchor, and YouTube. So check it out, share with your friends, see if they like it. They probably won't, but they have horrible taste anyway. So
Don't listen to him, guys. Watch it. He's a Debbie Downer.
But I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. If you're just on semester break right now, hope all your finals are good. I know mine are just like making me cry right now.
I shaved my head for my essay.
I'm about to shave my head. I'm about to look like Avatar in the next episode we do. Arrow here. But until then, guys, we thank you for having lunch with us, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.